What's up, scuffed boys? Rob's back with another video for the Poison BV. We have started min-maxing this character with cluster jewels, and I want to give you guys an update. A lot of you have asked for it, but before we do that, I have to thank Kubi, who's in our Discord and our community, who has helped a lot by finding cool new things we can do with cluster jewels, and he's helped a lot. So thank you so much, Kubi. Appreciate you, man. And other than that, guys, I just want to thank the whole community for the support. The growth on the Twitch and the YouTube have been ridiculous. I appreciate you guys more than you can understand. Thank you, thank you. Please click the sub button below on the YouTube so you know when I put new videos out. But let's get into it, guys. All right, so I'm going to run a map quickly just so you can see vulnerability, just a tier 16 promenade, nothing hectic beyond. I just want to show the speed and that it's still good and that it's still tanky. Let me chuck buffs up. Cool. Playstyle hasn't changed, it's just nicer now. We have more quality of life, and I'll go over all of that in a sec. I'm obviously not going to run the whole freaking... I'm going to run through the map, but I'm going to... Man, I'll get some lag spikes. You're going to have to excuse the lag spikes, guys. It's the Delirium when it starts to spawn. Sometimes it's not too bad, but other times it's pretty bad. So obviously... The playstyle's the same, whirling blades everywhere. Keep your BB up, keep your flasks up. We kill stuff fast enough that the flasks are pretty much always up. Like I said, I'm not gonna, normally I'd go a bit slower and full clear the map, but I just want to show you guys how much damage we're doing now. You pretty much touch a pack and they're dead. If you don't want to use whirling blades, you don't have to. Some people actually run without it and just keep elusive, or withering step, sorry, on their left click. Which is completely fine as well, if that's something you want to do. No problems there. But I just want to show you guys that put a wood the totem down, you chuck your Vaal BV out, and the bosses will melt. Even with Delirium buffs on them, the bosses are dead in a very quick fashion. Let's clear the rest of this. Head back up. And I mean that's pretty much the gameplay. Like I said, it's a little bit slower than that because I normally clear the whole map. Oh, I can show you guys a Metamorph as well, actually. Metamorphs were known to be super tanky back in the day. So let's chuck our totems down. Get our Vaal BB stacks up flasks. And he's dead. And that's it. That's the gameplay right there. Bosses melt. Bosses are actually easier than mobbing because we can charge up, have our flasks up, everything like that. But anyway, let's get into the nitty gritty and the juice of what's actually going on in the build now. So we've converted from the old tree where we come down here and everything. We still use a thread of hope. We've converted to 2 clusters. As most of you will know by now, clusters are flipping overpowered. They're stupidly strong. So we've done that. The pod will be updated as well, so you'll have another reference, but I will go over it really quick. The first one hasn't changed. We really want priority number 1, Overwhelming Malice, so that we get Unholy Might on crit, which means always, pretty much. Wicked is awesome for damage and duration. Unholy Grace is just nice. Extra chaos damage, attack speed for movement. That's nice, just a bonus. Obviously super important that you get 2 jewel sockets as well. So once again, for the guys that haven't done this, if you are buying or rolling large clusters, make sure they're item level 75 or higher so you can get 2 jewel clusters. Great. Second thing we're running Circle of Oblivion on every single medium. What that does, other than damage over time, which is massive, and increased duration of ailments, which is just really good quality of life, it gives us skill effect duration, which means we can drop these nodes down here. So at this point, my BV, if you watch me right click, still don't have to cast it, 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 still don't have to cast it. Okay, so it lasts about 10-11 seconds, which is just awesome quality of life. And it affects our Vaal Blade Vortex as well, which means it stacks more poison stacks on a boss. It's all good things. Quality of life is unreal now. I run 1 Hemorrhage, which is just nice for the crit chance and crit multi, which obviously gets scaled through our Corralitos and the Perfect Agony notable that we get from it. Then Septic Spells. This is important. This part, you got to listen up, right? So remember, we changed our 6 link to not run Void Manipulation, but instead run Poison so that we're at 100% chance to poison. Hear me out. When you're min-maxing, this is sick. It's really cool. If your Circle of Nostalgia has the line, Herald of Agony has 100% increased buff effect. See how it can roll between 70 and 100? If you can get one with 100, it gives us an extra percent chance for poison, which puts us at 80, and then septic spells gives us 20. So we can drop poison out, or we can chuck in awakened void manipulation, which is about 3-4% more damage, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot when you're already doing a big chunk of damage. 4% more of 40 million is quite a lot. So 1 septic spells, super nice. I'm running 1 surging and 3 fettle just for extra life. They give us a lot, so if you guys can see here, there's a fettle here. And what I've done as well, see how this one gives me strength on the small ones, gives me strength. This one gives me resists and strength on the small nodes. This one gives me a bit of life regen because I wanted to counter my blood rage. So if I put blood rage on, I don't degen. And then this one gives me all res as well. And that made it easier for me to get my resistances capped so that I could buy boots and stuff easier. Okay, so cool. So septic spells there. Now, on the other two, wasting affliction is best in slot. It makes our damage deal its damage faster. So our damage over time is just getting ticked even faster, which is technically a massive DPS upgrade. It's a more multiplier in another way. So that's huge. Circling, wasting. You need 1 septic spells, then you can drop out poison for awakened void manip. Circling, hemorrhage, which is just nice. You could run another wasting if you want. Up to you. That one's not as crucial. Okay, cool. So the other thing, Watcher's Eye, precision, crit multi, and malevolence deal damage faster. Once again, we do so much damage over time. If we can bring that dot to tick quicker, we're doing way more damage in a shorter period of time, technically increasing our DPS, right? Cool. So that's changed. Now you can see I'm in level 93, so I've still got a little bit of leveling to do. This is a huge node for us now because of the amount of crit chance we have now. This node is huge. These multi-nodes are just massive. So those 4 you can grab if you want more damage. Will of Blades is still very strong if you want to grab that. If you want more life, you can grab more life on the tree. But this is the generic level 92, 93 tree that can carry anything in the game, kill anything in the game at speed. So let me just get my pop up. I actually want to show you guys, if I can get it up, the amount of damage that we're doing right now. Here we go. And this is completely realistic numbers, no joke. So if you look over here, right now, 64 million DPS. This is single target. So this is when we're stacked up on a boss. On the config, you can see these are all things that that doesn't make any difference for the boss. We do have Unholy Might because we crit non-stop. We do have Tailwind because we crit non-stop. We do have Elusive because we crit non-stop. We are on conk ground all the time. This is when there's 1 unique enemy nearby, which is obviously from the Assassin Ascendancy. 40 poisons is very easy to achieve on a boss with Vaal BV and BV. We can actually get to 60. We can actually get to 65, but we'll leave it at 40 just to be realistic. So we're not saying we're doing 60 all the time. 40 on the enemy. Withered stacks is easy to keep up. With the 3 totems, there's 15 withered stacks on the enemy in 2.8 seconds or something. Like, it's ridiculous. As you can see, it's Shaper Guardian. 30 virulent stacks is being realistic. We can get that within seconds. And 3 spider webs also very realistic. So nothing here has been juiced up. Like, a lot of people come in here and they go 100 like this. That can't be achieved. A lot of people will even put 60, which can be achieved, but once again, that's very conditional. 40 is not conditional. Our Blade Vortex hits 7.5 times a second, so we apply 7.5 poisons a second. Then we have Vaal BV as well, so that's 15 a second. So in less than 4 seconds, we can put 40 poisons on an enemy easily, realistically. Cool. So there you can see 64k. That's with pretty much the same gear I have on right now, literally pretty much the same gear. So it is completely achievable. You can push it even further to get to 70 mil, 5.5k health as well, by the way. But the build is better than ever. For those of you asking as well, there's still questions about cast and damage taken and Withering Step. Don't link it to anything. Make it level 20 and let it be on your left click. It automatically procs for us. So every time it procs and then we crit, we get Elusive from the Assassin Ascendancy. And then this resets it. We get Elusive from the Assassin Ascendancy from critting. It's just like a cycle that goes back and forth. And it helps our speed and our survivability significantly. For those of you asking about frenzy charges, it is Blood Rage. Blood Rage gives us our frenzy charges. It gives us a lot of movement and attack speed as well. That's why I run it. It's important before you fight strong enemies, even if you get at least 2 down, but 3 is nice. If you get 2 of these down, it's unbelievable the amount of damage we do when we have Withering on an enemy. It's So I'm just going to go over my links real quick. So in my boots, once again, I wanted Poison inflicts damage faster, Tailwind, and then movement speed, Onslaught's a bonus, and Life is great. Cast when damage taken, Immortal Call. I prefer Immortal Call. Some people prefer Steel Skin. It's completely up to you. See what you like. Precision level 1, only because of the watches I am using. You don't need precision. This is for the watches I'm using. Withering Step level 20 on left click. Get a Stygian Vise. You can get chaos damage on there and flat damage like I have. Lots of res and life. We need lots of res on this piece of gear. And then you can also get an Abyssal Jewel with life and res, which caps me off. I've got a ring with a lot of res as well. And the reason it's important to get a lot of res on our belt and our ring, guys, is so that we can get better gear everywhere else. We don't have to worry so much about res on boots. We could rather get a lot of damage and utility and movement and stuff like that on our boots. Asenath's still best in slot. You can't beat them. They're just too good. Double Cold Iron Point is the best. I still only have one with the corruption. I just haven't bothered. But that is the best corruption, guys. If you can afford it, or if you can afford to buy 20 and just keep corrupting until you get damage over time, it's quite significant late game. For those of you that are going nutty and you want to go double corrupt in the chamber, damage over time and frenzy charge on kill on one, and damage over time and power charge on the other is crazy as well. But once again, that's next level. Now the helmet, it has a lot of different unveiling things you can get on it. I wanted fire res, and chaos res is nice. So if you want the cheap, just get one with the res you need. Helps you get better stuff once again on your boots and stuff. Flasks haven't changed, guys, but I can't stress how good it is to have a quartz flask for phasing. When you get stuck on mobs, press that button, you're through them. It's so nice. Other than that, in presence, Dirty Techniques becomes best in slot as well. So we've now anointed Dirty Techniques because the chest that I have, as you can see, has additional curse. It has spell crit, which is a big change as well. So in the last league, I ran Explodey chest because I wanted to. It's not best in slot. It's just cool, guys. So when you're running a chest, your best in slot is plus to level of Socket of Gems, which I've got additional curse, and then spell crit. That base crit boosts our damage significantly because we crit more often, which means our crit multi scales our poison more often. Cool. Where was I going? Dirty Techniques, damage over time, poison duration, and poisons faster. Because we do so much more damage now, this is a huge node. The more nodes we stack and the more things we stack that make our poison tick faster, the more significant those are. So that's why Dirty Techniques becomes best in slot and no longer corruption that we ran last league. It's still good, but Dirty Techniques is massive. What else was there to go over? I think that's about it, guys. Just once again, thank you for playing the build. You guys are awesome. It's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll see you guys on the stream or in the YouTube comments below. Let me know what other builds you want to see. I love you all. Appreciate you. See you guys.